Thanks for watching Amethyst Plants. I'm Amy and I love plants. Today, I want to talk to you about one of my favorite grocery stores and how I think they have some of the most underrated and best houseplants. Can you guess? Trader Joe's. Just kidding, Trader Joe's. I love going to Trader Joe's and I'm lucky to have one about 10 minutes away from my house. One of the things that I love about going to Trader Joe's is looking at their plant section whenever I go. And I found that they have a really great selection of low-priced houseplants. For example, I've been able to get some philodendrons, some pothos, some sansevieria, for saying it now, all for under $7. So I'm going to show you a couple of my new Trader Joe's finds, and then I want to give you the dirt on Trader Joe's dirt. All right, I have my two newest finds from Trader Joe's right here. And I want to share with you what they are and also what I paid for them so you can see and judge for yourself if you think Trader Joe's does have good houseplant prices. I got this guy about a week ago, I think. I think 2 weeks ago. And this is an Anthurium. This is a pink Anthurium. I really like Anthurium plants. Some people don't like their flowers. They are kind of weird looking. Some people think they're like sexual looking with their yellow spike at the top. I don't view them as that way. I like them because they're long lasting flowers and I typically go for foliage more. So if there's an easy to care for houseplant that also has long lasting flowers, that's a bonus for me. So I got this for that reason and I paid $12.99 for this. It also came in a white ceramic pot. Looking around, but I don't have it nearby. And that's a plus for me because I always love something that comes in a cash pot. So $12.99 for a plant and a pot to me is a great deal, especially since these are going for $24.99 at my local nurseries. The other plant that I got just today was $5.99, and this is a heartleaf philodendron. I believe it's just a green philodendron. I actually don't have this kind yet. I have neon lemon lime, and I have a jade philodendron and a philodendron Brazil and lots of other weird kinds, but I don't just have this typical beautiful heart leaf green vining one. This is in a 6-inch pot as well as the Anthurium. So for $5.99, I think that's an amazing price. I would definitely pay $16 or upwards at a nursery for this, I think. So I love Trader Joe's for that reason, and I don't know, I feel less guilty if a houseplant doesn't survive as well if I've paid less for it. It's always harder for a houseplant to die on me if I splurged on it or if I paid a lot for it. I don't know if you can relate to that, but comment below if you can. So now that you know the prices of these two plants and you can judge for yourself if you think Trader Joe's is a good place to buy houseplants, I want to share a couple more opinions and maybe some facts you might want to know, or some opinions formulated by lots of experience that you might want to know before going into Trader Joe's and getting a plant. I have found that the soil that Trader Joe's pots their plants in, or whatever nursery they're getting them from, is not super well draining. It's a soil that is a little bit more dense and compact and seems to hold water for a really long time. So I have had a handful of plants I've gotten from Trader Joe's that have ended up getting root rot because they just have never really dried out in their nursery pots. And that's happened enough times that I've noticed a pattern. And from now on, I am going to replace the dirt that these come in, put them right back in these pots, but just give them some fresh dirt and kind of clean their roots out a little bit to hopefully avoid that in the future. So that is the dirt on Trader Joe's dirt, and I'm gonna try to show you a little bit closer as I unpot these so you can see exactly what I mean. All right, so I'm gonna get into the Anthurium first. Sometimes I wear gloves, sometimes I don't. Ooh, another thing I found is sometimes Trader Joe's plants come a little bit root bound. The bottom roots are actually tangled up in the holes of the pot here, so, oh damn it, I just ripped it off. I was gonna try and take it out, but I ripped it off. Oh well, there are still a ton of really good roots on here. So I believe I'm still gonna put it back in this pot. I have repotted one Anthurium into a larger size pot, and it seems to be doing just okay. I have a feeling that these guys don't mind being a little bit more, not root bound, but a little bit more root type kind of. So I am just breaking up the soil. And I mean, it looks like good soil. As you can see, these are like, I can't even break these apart. I'm not sure what they are. There's big mounds in here that are just really wet. But what it looks like is a lot of peat in here. So it just doesn't seem to be very well draining, and it doesn't seem to allow the roots to breathe very much. And I think that's something that is important. So gonna, as gently as I can, I really hope I don't break any more roots, because this plant has got some amazing roots. Okay, now that I've loosened up the root ball, you can see this is a really healthy plant. For $12.99, this plant with a nice white 6-inch ceramic pot, like hello, yes please. So I am going to take this, still put it back in its pot, and I did get some root fallout as I was loosening up the roots, but what that tells me is that some of the roots that fell off maybe were on their way to rotting or are already rotted. So I am glad that I went in and kind of freed it from its soil that it has been traveling in and possibly probably growing in and traveling in for most of its life. So yeah, I'm going to open my soil and give it a repot. Okay, I've got my aeroid soil mix, and I think that's gonna be okay for this Anthurium. I've got a lot of stuff in here. Worm castings, perlite, 2 different sizes of orchid bark, some horticultural charcoal, and of course, organic potting soil. So I'm going to just start repotting. Since this plant is so big, I'm not going to put a ton of dirt at the bottom. And oh man, now this has me rethinking if I really want to put it in this pot again, or if I want to put it in something bigger. So I'm gonna take a look and see if I have anything a little bigger or maybe even just a little deeper for this, because I mean, there's so many roots. Okay, I got lucky. I found a pot that is, oh my gosh, pretty much the same size, just a tiny, tiny bit bigger. And I'm gonna go ahead and put that bad boy right in there. And I think that's gonna be perfect. So, go ahead and fill it with dirt. And actually, what I wanted to do is kind of take some neem oil and just spray it around the roots while I'm potting it. I don't believe that I disinfected this one. Knock on wood, watch me get another infestation of mealybugs because of this plant. But all my new plants, I am doing I guess besides this one, a disinfecting process. So yeah, I'm gonna pause this now so that I can show you the roots on the other guy as I repot that. And it turned out great. Okay, I keep my aeroid dirt in a large tub that I can carry back and forth from my garage, my back patio, wherever I want to replant. I just wanted to mention that, and I wanted to share that I usually like to save the dirt from plants. However, I don't believe I'm going to be saving this dirt from Trader Joe's because it has a lot of roots in it, and plants don't seem to do very well in it. So I'm going to take this green philodendron now, and I can actually see some roots coming out of the bottom already. I know that philodendron roots are going to be way tinier and overall less impressive than Anthurium roots are, but I am encouraged to see that, and I think that this guy is going to enjoy getting repotted as well. Yeah, okay, so I'll show you the bottom. Definitely not root bound, but we're getting there. And I'm gonna be really, really gentle, a lot more careful than I was with the Anthurium as I loosen up these roots and take away this soil. And it is just wet in the middle. So I think this is good, a good mixture for possibly growing the plants in and definitely transporting them in, because they there we go, that little baby was in there. They stay wet for a while, but doesn't seem to be able, the roots don't seem to be able to breathe the way that they need to or want to in this soil mixture. And I'm just gonna really carefully remove as much of the soil as I can from the roots before I repot it. So I went ahead and got as much of the peat soil that I could off of the roots, and it was really clinging to the roots. So these roots were a lot wetter than the Anthurium roots were, and I'm learning that when the roots are wet, it really just clings onto this type of soil mixture. I ended up potting this in the pot that the Anthurium was in because I wanted it to look as full as possible. So I think this guy is gonna be a lot happier with some new soil, and I'm excited. I will definitely start propagating this soon because it has got a lot of long shoots coming out, and I want to be able to fill up some of the back and the sides where there's still some holes in the soil. So thank you for watching my repotting and my dish on Trader Joe's dirt. I hope that you find a plant at Trader Joe's if you have a Trader Joe's near you, and I hope you're able to take kind of some of what I've learned from handling Trader Joe's plants into consideration to help you out. Have a great day. Another thing I want to mention is that because the roots were still wet on this plant, I'm not going to water it immediately after repotting it. I have found that when plants are potted in this type of soil mixture, or especially not related to the Philodendron or Anthurium, but my peperomias, whenever I repot them and then water them thoroughly like you're supposed to, they really don't like it and they actually rot immediately. So because the roots were already wet on this, I'm gonna give it a few days, maybe even up to a week before I really water it well again and saturate it so that water's coming out of the bottom, because I don't want to overwater this guy when it's already been really wet for a while, I can tell, and I don't want to shock it. I really want it to do well. So that's another tip. Thank you for watching, listening to my thoughts and opinions on Trader Joe's plants, listening to the dirt on Trader Joe's dirt, and sticking around to repot with me. I appreciate you watching Amethyst Plants, and I hope you have a wonderful day.